Welcome back, guys. In this video we are going to see if and else. Okay, so for this if and else concept I have created a new task or new bot by pressing new, and we will see what are the types that we have in the if else and the verification that we can make. But before starting it, let's understand what is if and else. Okay, so first, the if condition is nothing but if something is positive. Okay, for example, let's consider that a person is there. Let's say some person is there. Let's say person is there. Okay, and this person could be like 2 years old, 4 years old, could be 20 or 50 or any years old. Okay, as of now ignore that, it's a human. Okay, when this person goes for a check, okay, we have made a check here, we are having some check, and this check is called if block. For example, you can consider if block. Okay, if this person comes here and sees, and here there is a person or something that asks this guy about his age. What is your age? That's what this person is asking. Now this kid says, I am 4 years old. 4 years old. Then the check tells him that you should be in school, that is in preschool. Okay, so here it is preschool. But if the person is more than 4 years or 5 years, for example, okay, consider that the person is 4 years old, and let's have one table. Okay, if a person is 5 years or less than 5 years, I mean, like, consider that less than 5 years old, then you should be in preschool. If a person is more than 10 years, then the person should be in, sorry, more than 10, then the person should be in school. If the person is more than 18, then the person should be in college. Okay, so the person should be in college. The person should be in college. So this is what our check is, and here we are going to make sure that we are redirecting a person to the right place. Okay, and this check can have go to the preschool or go to somewhere else. Okay, so first we are sending a person who is 4 years old, and here we are checking whether the person's age, for example, let's consider A is the age. Okay, the age, let me make it little smaller font so that it will be easy. Age, if age is less than 5 years, okay, if less than 5 years, then this is the true side, you go to this side. Okay, but if the person is more than 5 years old, then we'll send him on the left side, for example this side. Okay, in case the person's age is more than 5, so here we are checking true or false. If a person is having less than 5 years, okay, then the person should go to preschool, and if the person is having more than 5 years, then the person should go somewhere else. We'll see what is this somewhere else, but if it is less than 5 years, we should go to the school. Okay, so whenever we talk about a if condition accepts a boolean value, either true or false. Okay, in case of a true, it will execute that if block which is in the right. Okay, people may write change the locations like left and right, but as of now in a standard, normally people consider true as the right side. Okay, so if the person is less than 5, then that is true, then you go to the preschool. But if person is more than 5 years old, it goes to the false. So in the false, he could again fall into two categories. Either he could be going to the school or to the college. Okay, so again we will have one more if. Okay, let me draw. So we will be having one more if. Here we will be checking whether age is less than 10. Okay, we check if age is less than 10, then we send him to the right. Okay, here again he can go to school. But if age is more than 10, then the person goes to college, because as of now we have only 3 categories, so we will be sending either one of the place. Okay, so let me re-explain it. Okay, so first we check whether there is a consider that there is a person or a kid, okay, who is 4 years old and is going for the check. Okay, let me rub it, it's not required here. Okay, so he is going for a check where he should be now. Okay, we have a condition just to check whether what is his age, and if his age is less than 5 years, we say that go to preschool or go to some other place. In some other place again we check the age, and if the age is less than 10 years, then go to school, and if the age is more than 10, then go to college, more than or equal to. Okay, so this is what the check. And we normally use the relational operators in the if block, and if block can accept only either true or false. Okay, if it is a false, it will be in the left side, and either if it is a true, it will be on the right side. Okay, so in case, only one thing I want to check, if the person is less than 5 years old, then send him to the preschool. Otherwise you just ignore this particular part. We might have that kind of situations as well. This part will not be part of it. Okay, so only here we have only if block. Okay, only this side if block we will have. If it is true, go to school, otherwise ignore him and proceed further without executing anything. So something like this. Go to the next steps rather than executing anything else. So whenever you write a if block, the if block can come with else block, or if block can stand alone. Okay, but else block always will come with if block. Okay, so this one we have seen, like if block can exist as separate one. Now we have added else block here. Okay, so in case if it's a false, we are sending it here, but at the same time in the else block we can again have a if block, right? This is another if block. Okay, in the else block we are having a if block. In there we are checking again if the person is whether less than 10 years or more than 10 years. If less than 10 years, go to school, otherwise go to college. Okay, so this is what if and else block. So if block can have multiple if blocks. For example, here again you can have another if block. Okay, in the else block also you can have multiple else block. Not only in outside, inside and inside it can keep on growing. Okay, multiple if blocks can be present inside one if block, and multiple nested if blocks can be present inside one if block or an else block. Okay, so once we consider that if and else, okay, once a particular condition check is crossed, then that particular block will be considered just as a block or particular statements. It will be no more like if or else block, because once it's redirected, it's over. Okay, so now let's go back to Automation Anywhere. So under the view all you can find if and else. Okay, below the FTP, and in future versions it may change. But let's before picking any of the option, let's create a variable, okay, called age. Okay, as we were talking, let's consider age, and we can provide the age here. For example, let's give the age as 4. Okay, now the age is 4. Now let me save this particular bot or task. Okay, if else. So now let's bring one of the condition from the if else. So here we are having multiple conditions, but before going to that, I want to explain this thing because it will be easy. After this, it will be so easy to understand the remaining things. Okay, so this is nothing but the variable. Sorry, here variable is nothing but the same thing that whatever you here we have explained, right? So the same thing I'm going to explain there in the automation anywhere. So select variable. Okay, so here select the if block and click on edit edit button. So once we are here, we have to check variable. So what variable we want to check? Here we want to check age. Press F2 to get all the variables and select age and insert. Right now, operator, which operator we want to use? Okay, here we are checking the less than operator. So age should be less than what value it is. We are having a value as 5. The age should be less than 5. Okay, now press save. So we got the if block. Now let's add a message here so that we will get to know what is the thing is happening, or at least we will get to know like we are executing in the right place. So here, before adding it, so here we are checking if the age is less than 5, then what it should do is it should say preschool. Okay, let me add preschool here. So preschool and save. So now we have added a message as preschool. Now run it, save and run. Basically, if the age is less than 5, then preschool will come because we have given the age as 4. Okay, now we got the preschool. Yeah, the kid will be admitted to preschool now. Okay, now click on the age here and edit. Let's say 40 and save. Now if we say the age less than 5, here the 40 is right, 40 less than 5. Now it will say that it's a false because 40 is not less than 5. So what should happen is it should skip all the things present here under the if block. So this will be considered as a block. Okay, all the things will be ignored and it will directly go to here. After the first line, it should go to the fourth line. It should not consider second and third because we received false here in the line number 1. Okay, now save the bot and run. See, you did not get any message, right? So we can have only if block as a standalone. Now you do not have a else block. For example, now here we are doing if this becomes true, then execute this one. If this becomes false, we are not doing anything here, right? If this one becomes false, the first line. So we have an option called else in the if itself. So here if conditions are there, at the bottom you have a else block. Okay, so else block is nothing but if in case the if block results in a false, then the control directly goes to else block. Okay, so these to be related, before ending the if itself we have to put the else block. Okay, so here if means if can contain if, else, else if and just if. Okay, so these kind of things it can contain, but else if is like to end the first, not first actually, the total entire block. Okay, here we have else and here also we can add a message. Sorry, we have to add it between line number 4 and 5. So here I am going to say don't go to preschool. Sorry, already we have the preschool there. So do not go to preschool. Now save the bot and run. So what should happen is, now we have given age as 40 and we are comparing whether the 40 is less than 5. And what do you think, whether 40 is less than 5 or not? Okay, so when we compare 40 less than 5, we result in false. So it will come to else block on the 4th line and it will try to execute the 5th line and then 6th line. Okay, now let's run. Okay, it says that do not go to school or do not go to preschool. Okay, now so this is how you can write if block and else block. Okay, so in the else block, again as you've seen here, again you have one more check whether this kid is less than 10 years or more than 10 years. Okay, so for that again we can add a if block inside the else block. Okay, so let's bring the same variable we have, right? So let's bring it to the line 5. Okay, variable and edit it. Now we are looking for variable age should be less than again 10. Okay, so this time we are looking for age less than 10 and here we are going to move this box, I mean like move the message box somewhere else. So let me remove it. So here we brought it. So if the kid is not less than 5 years, then it goes to the else block. In the else block again we check whether the kid or the person is having less than 10 age, and if it is true we will tell him that go to school or something like school. So now let's run it. Save the thing and run and see whether this we are getting any message here or not, because we have not changed the age value which is still in 40. Now everything is over, but we did not get the message because 40 is, we are checking 40 less than 10 and which results in a false and it goes out of way. So here we are checking. Again we can add a else block here. Else, so here again we are adding the else block. Now we are going to say that kid go to college, man. Okay, so let's save the bot. Now let me explain. First we check whether the age is less than 5. Here the age is 40 as we have set here. Let me showcase it. Here you can see the value is 40 for the age. Okay, so 40 less than 5, which results in a false. So this particular block will not be executed. It will go to the else block. Now here again we are having a check whether the age is less than 10, and again here it results no or false. So again this will be false. It will go to its else block, which is at the line number 8. So again it tries to see is there any check, but here we do not have any check. We are just saying go to college. Okay, so according to the age, now the message box will display. Okay, it says college because that guy's age is 40 and which is not less than 5 and not less than 10. Okay, for example, let's edit the age to 8. Okay, now I have edited the age to 8. Now just check, 8 is less than 5, no, which means false. It goes to the line number 4, and again here it enters the block, and again in the 5th line it checks whether age 8 is less than 10. Yes, 8 is less than 10. Then it will start executing line number 6 and line number 7. Okay, so I'm saying that it will execute the comment also, but you can ignore it. Comments will not be executed, only other things will be executed. So it will be executing 7th line. Okay, now let's run again. This time it should be school. Okay, it's giving me as school. Okay, now the condition got ended. Okay, so if and else block are called as conditional statements. Okay, keep it in mind. So now we have a else block and here we have a if block. Okay, there will be, see, now we have how many lines? Let's just check. 1 2 3 4. Let me remove the comments, that's not required. I'll make a little bit easier. Okay, now let's, total 9 lines are present, right? So sometimes when we have a better option, we have to choose the better option rather than sticking into the old one itself. Okay, so if you see, there is one statement called else if. Okay, so this is nothing but it combines the else block and if block. Here we have 2 lines, right? Line number 3 and line number 4. So if we use else if block, both will be merged together. Okay, let me bring it here. Okay, so again here it's asking, for example, let me save this file and open new file, that will be better. Okay, and now here we are going to, let me try to copy something here if it is possible. Yes. Okay, again age is also got copied. So what we do not want is line number 3 to 8. Let's edit them. Now we have line number 1 2 3. So basically, which is if the age is less than 10, it will say go to preschool. Now I'm going to add else if block. So else if block also works just like a if block only, but only thing is, like, when the first if block is not working, then it will send to the else block, and inside the else block we can have if block, or along the else block on the statement itself you can add a if block. Okay, so here we are adding along the statement itself rather than writing in a new line. Okay, so here also we are going to work with a variable, and the variable is age, and what we are going to look for is less than 10. Okay, save. If the age is less than 10, then what it has to do, see here, if the age is less than 10, it should say message box school. I'm going to copy it. Okay, message box school. Now let's say that if else if, I'm saving the file just because I want to run, so let me run it. The age variable is 8, the value is 8, and it should give school. Yeah, because 8 is less than 10, but 8 is not less than 5 here, so here it becomes false and here it becomes true. Okay, now again we have else block here, right? So similarly here also we can have a else block. Okay, in the else block again we can have a message saying that college. Okay, let me save it. If I edit the age to some other value, for say like 20, here we have edited to 20, and if I save this bot and run it, then it will result in college, because 20 is less than 5. We are checking here in the first line, no, and it returns a false, so it will not be executed. Again it comes to the third line, we check whether 20 is less than 10, no, that is also not true. Then it comes to the fifth line. In the fifth line there is no condition to check, so it comes to the sixth line. So in the sixth line we are just messaging go to college. Okay, so for example, in case if you want to send that kid to job also, you can add one more if block, or you can make this particular fifth line as a else if block. Okay, you can keep on doing it. Okay, let me, yeah, so that is all with basic if block and else block and else if block. And end if will end the first, whatever the if blocks is still we are writing, right? If block or else block or else if block, till that one it will terminate all the things. Okay, here, so here after whatever we write, that is not related with these blocks. Okay, so this is the basic if blocks. Okay, you can find it in any programming language. But now let's talk about the remaining varieties of if blocks. Okay, so I'll create one more file. Say that sorry, control N doesn't work, so again we have to click new and pull a if block. So if the file exists, so first I am taking the category as a file exists. Okay, so in the file exists, as of now let's look for a file in our system. So here I am going to look for a file called 001. Okay, so in case only if the file is present in the system, then only execute the following block. That's what it means. Okay, for example, now I'm going to message here. So don't think that I'm messaging all the time using message box, because as of now I do not have a right scenario to perform it. But you can write different operations. After checking whether the file is present, you can read the file. Okay, and you can get the content like that. So I'm going to say like success, our file is present. Okay, now let's save this file as if automation anywhere. So we are going to see all the categories in the if. Okay, now after saving it, something happened. Run it. Okay, after saving, press run. So it started here and file is present, because the same file is present in our folder. Now you might have a question that let me edit it. Here you have browsed and you have clicked. Just because of that, the file is obviously going to present there. And how come it's not going to be present there? Okay, so now for a simple purpose I have chosen this file. But when you are running your automation, you might be seeing the files in a dynamic way, maybe using a variables, or maybe using the dates along with the file names, such that. Okay, so if the file is present, it said it executed the true block, I mean the if block. If the file is not present, for example, this is the file name, I'm going to add something called random along with the file. I'm going to save it. Now if I try to see whether this file is present or not, okay, and if the file is not present, then this particular line number 2, 3 will not be executed. It will directly go to line number 4. Okay, now let me run. I should not get the message box, that's what I am expecting this time. We did not get any message box because this kind of file is not present. Okay, let me edit the if block again. So there is a equivalent for that file does not exist. Okay, if I make this file does not exist, basically the if block will try to see, if condition will try to see whether this file is not present or not. If the file is not present, then it is true. Okay, that time it will execute the line number 2 and 3. Okay, for example, let me save it. So here I am going to say file is not present, because we are looking for 001 random.pdf, but what we have is 001 random.pdf. Okay, let me save this bot and run it. So this time it will message say that file is not present. Okay, see, file is not present. So we are checking for the file. The next one, and if you don't, please don't think bad, I'm not going to cover folder does not exist, window does not exist, application not running. Mostly I'm trying on the positive scenarios, and you guys can try it on the negative scenarios as well. Okay, so let's go with folder exists, because the positive and negative is just opposite, so you can try it out. So here we are looking for folder exists, and folder is not the file. So we have, I'm trying to check whether sample data folder is existing or not, and here you can see that sample data folder is existing. Okay, if I press save, it will be saved. So let me edit the message box. folder is present, and save the bot and run it. Folder is present. Okay, so if I change this folder name to some other thing, then it will not be present there. Okay, so let's go to the next. Okay, window exists. So here window is nothing but here you can see the applications, right? So whether this application window present or not. Okay, that's what it means. So we can choose any application here. Once you select the window exists, you will see the select title. Okay, which is nothing but select the application that you want to see. So here you can select anything. Okay, for example, let's say that whether PDF-text notepad is present or not, which is nothing but this file, whether this file is opened or not in that particular window. Okay, so now I can say that save, and here in the message box you can edit like window is present. Okay, so it is not actually looking for this file. Okay, basically it is looking for this particular title window. Okay, PDF text notepad window. Okay, not for the file. So let me save and run it. Window is present because we have this notepad, right? If I remove this one, for example, just now we got window present. Let me remove this. Don't save. Okay, now if I execute it, no pop-up will come. Okay, so nothing came because only we are checking the positive, right? Here we are just checking whether the particular window exists or not. Actually we are not checking whether a particular window exists or not, but what we are checking is whether window exists. Okay, if exists, do this one, otherwise you just go end it. You don't worry about it. So for worrying that, we can add a else block here, as I was explaining previously. So else block is nothing but if this particular becomes false, the if block becomes false, then if condition becomes false, then it will go to the else. So here you can say that some negative scenario or failure. Okay, so if I execute it, it will say that message box failure because there is no such window present here. The notepad, I have closed it. Okay, see, failure. Let me edit it. So let's go for application running. Now here we are trying to see whether a particular application is running. When we say like a particular application is running, we will be, for example, let me showcase that Firefox or something, or let me take this example itself. I want to bookmark it, and after that we'll see. Okay, now we have closed the Chrome, and I am going to check whether Chrome is running or not. Okay, so when we say Chrome is running, in the desktop you will see the Chrome icon, right? So right click on it and look for open file location here. Okay, because this is a shortcut and it will have a exe file associated with it. So in your browser, in your local machine, there will be chrome.exe file. Okay, so when I double click it, then a Chrome browser opens. The same thing happens whenever I click on the shortcut Google Chrome here, because when I double click it here, it indirectly opens the file present in the C drive under program files. Okay, so now let me copy this path and say that application running, browse, and look for this location and select the Chrome. Okay, so here you can see it's looking for .exe files. Okay, now we are checking whether Chrome is running or not. Okay, you can see otherwise as well. In the task manager, just check if any Chrome is present. Okay, if Chrome present here means it will return true only. Okay, now we are checking whether Chrome is running. Okay, in case if it is false, it will come to else block and will result in failure. Otherwise it will be Windows present. Sorry, not window present, app present. Let me change it. Okay, save the bot and run. it says failure because no Chrome is running. Now let me open Chrome. Now Chrome is open. Let me run it. Let me run the bot again. App present because we have the Chrome opened. Press OK. Basically it will check whether a particular app is present or not. You can check the negative condition using app not running. So the next one is a script successful or not. So as of now I don't have bigger scripts, and also I don't have much knowledge on VB script and JavaScript. I mean, I have very much knowledge on JavaScript, but not on VB script. Okay, but for running JavaScript we might need Node.js and the browsers, all the stuff. But as of now I have created a very simple VB script, okay, which does nothing but we declared 3 variables a, b, c, and we have provided values for a and b. For c we are adding a and b. We are not printing the result, we are not messaging the result. Okay, we are just adding it and we are ending the program there itself. Okay, so this is the file, and let me copy the path. So when you see here, so when we select a script, it will ask for select script file and parameters. While we running we can pass the parameters as well. Okay, but as of now ignore it, it's not required. So select script file. So when you click on browse, you can see VB script. Okay, so for example let me go to the file where, sorry, not cmd. Okay, it's in sample data. So here you can see addition -vbs. So it is looking for VBS file. At the same time you can also add JS file. Okay, so but let's go with VBS file. Okay, we have added the VBS file. When we run it, for example let me run that item first. So I open the sample data and I'm opening a command prompt. You cannot directly run it. You can directly run it also. It will not result anything. Okay, if you double click also it does not give any result. At the same time if you run it in cmd as well, it will not give any result. Okay, it's just a blank. Okay, now when we say that script running, we are passing the which script to run first. So it will try to run this particular script and then it will see whether that script is successful or not. Basically it will the if block itself will execute it. Okay, so if I press save, it will be saved, and here we can say that script success. Okay, if I run it, it should result in script success if the script passes successfully. Otherwise it will result in message box. Okay, so let me run it. It says script successful. Fine. Now we have to check the negative scenario as well, right? For example, let me add something like some random text into the script file. Okay, now rerun this bot and check whether it becomes successful or failure. It says that error in script 13 type mismatch. Okay, and here it says failure. You got the first pop-up because if you run the same here, it will result the same mismatch error. Okay, the same thing, the same error message. For example, let me open the message. Here we got the mismatch, right? So let me execute in automation anywhere. I'm sorry. So error, let the error be here, and let's run it. Let's run the automation anywhere code. So it will also result in the error only, but if you see here, both are mismatching. 13 type mismatch. Okay, here also you can see type mismatch, right? So even automation anywhere shows the whatever the error we get here. Okay, now let me close this one, and unless I press OK, it will not go to the next step. Okay, so that is why I just ended the VB script by adding it without saying that hello world, or without showcasing the message boxes, because I do not want to have a dependency there. Okay, so till we click OK on this one, we will not be going to the next step. So here we know that the script failed. Let me press OK. See, the next message itself we got failure, because it here in the first line it become false, which means that it goes to the line number 4 and will execute the else block. Here we have message box failure in the else block. Okay, we got the message box. Now let me re-edit the if block. Okay, next one is task successful. Okay, so this is another one funny thing. So task is nothing but, here I was telling, right? So this is one task, and this is one task, and this is one task. All the files here are one task. Normally I call it as a bot, but people can call it as task as well, and Automation Anywhere team also calls that as a task. Okay, now this task is there. We can execute that particular task here in the if block itself. Okay, so let me say that here we have the if-else block task, right? We can run it and we can see it here. Okay, so here before executing the if-aa, let me execute this if-else and see what's the result. Because when we execute the other file, that will result in the same to same. Okay, so now it says that school, because we were giving the age as 8 here. If you see the age is 8. Okay, now we got the school message. So in the if-aa, if I say that, if I edit the if block and say that task successful, okay, now we have to provide which task we want to run. So click on the browse, and if I select like if else, so this is the file we want to do it. So we are running if else block. Just now we have executed, right? So which means that when I save it, in this particular block, Automation Anywhere tries to execute this if else task, and if that task becomes successful, then it will execute line number 2 and 3, and if the task got failure, then it will go to the else block, which is line number 5 and 6. Okay, now save the file and run it. We got the school, because we are executing the first one, right? If you remember here, last time we got the school here with the if else block. Okay, now if I click OK, now here I am getting script success. Okay, now if you have any failures in the task that we have incorporated here, then it will result in the else block, and it will execute the message failure. Okay, the next one is ping successful. Normally whenever we open a browser for checking the internet, what we do is we open some website, right? Normally we go with the google.com. so this opening this kind of thing, or testing whether the internet is present or not, is nothing but pinging. Okay, so when we say ping, means we are trying to see whether internet is up or not, or basically whether that particular website is up or not. So when we say ping, we are checking, and we will get a response back that website is up. That is called pong. So ping is that we are requesting, pong is that we are receiving a response. Okay, open your CMD. If you are not opened, go to your CMD, type in your start menu CMD, and type a command called ping. The command is ping google.com. It says that pinging google.com with the 32 bytes or whatever, and replying from 172 dot something with the value it's coming, right? So the internet is working fine. Okay, so that is called ping. So here when we say ping successful, it exactly means that whatever we perform now. So IP address or machine name that we are looking for google.com. Okay, so normally we will, when we are testing our applications, we will not be using google.com, but we will be trying to see whether our application is up or not. That time we will be using the application URL here, okay, or the IP address. So instead of a Google, I can use the IP address of it. When I used in CMD, when I said ping google.com, it will give me an address 172.217.163.142. if I put this address instead of a google.com, it means the same. Okay, now let me save this and let me edit the message box as ping success. Okay, now run the bot. Okay, it says ping successful. Okay, press OK. In case if internet is down, it will say like ping failure. For example, let me disconnect my internet. Okay, I am disconnecting. Okay, now the internet is not connected. If you can see here, it is not connected, and if I open google.com again, it will say that site cannot be reachable. And now if I run this particular task, then I should receive a message saying message box failure, because here the thing will be failed, or will be this if condition will become false, because thing will not be successful. Okay, so yeah, so there is one more issue, that when I disconnected the internet, what happened is I got logged out of the control room from the automation anywhere. Again, I have to renew my session. So let me log back to internet itself. Otherwise, it will be not possible for me to check. Okay, now I'm connected. Let me retry. It will become ping success only. Sorry, it got expired. So I have to close automation anywhere and reopen automation anywhere. Okay, otherwise I'll not be able to connect back. So when you are working with automation anywhere, just make sure that you are having the internet connection. Okay, now I'm going to press new. Not new, we wanted to edit if -aa. Okay, so now we have it, right? So ping is successful, and I'm not able to test ping unsuccessful because of the internet connection. When I disconnect, my automation anywhere disconnects from the control room. Okay, then coming to the variable, we have seen how to use the variables. Okay, this is the first thing we have checked, and let's go to file date. So when we have a file date condition, click on edit button here after selecting, and you can select the file, which file you want to select for. Here, for example, let me go to my sample data and choose 001 file, and I can say that the file date should be somewhere in between or something like that. Okay, for example, let's say here we are going to say created date. Okay, date option is created date. Okay, here we can also give a number of days. For example, 3 days back I am looking for, but if I see it, it got created only yesterday, it seems. Okay, right click on properties, and it says created Saturday, May 2, 2020, which is nothing but yesterday. Today is 3rd May. Okay, yesterday it got created, and I'm going to save it. Here I'm going to check whether it got created in the last 3 days. Okay, what it should happen, right or wrong? Okay, it got created in last 3 days only, right? Because yesterday, which is like 1 day away, so it is not going to return false. Here it's going to be successful. Let me save. So here I'm going to save that date success. So let me save and rerun the code. It says my session got expired. That is bad. So let me reopen automation anywhere. So it should be asking for password, but it did not ask. I don't know why. Somewhere tools, fine, let me edit it. let me run, whether we'll see like whether it's still connected or not. When you are getting disconnected from the internet and if you face that relogin for the control room, then you can go to the main automation anywhere client. Okay, go to tools and click on relogin and enter the password. Okay, it will establish the connection between the control room and your machine. Okay, login successful. Now we can run this particular code. Okay, now we have edited to the date and let me run it. Okay, date success and okay. And if I try to see like whether that file got created within last few hours, let's say like 3 hours, then it will result in false because the file got created yesterday. Okay, let's save the bot and run. We should get a message failure. Yeah, failure because it got created long back. So let me read it. Now you can add the dates like between. If it is created between these 2 dates, then it will be successful, otherwise false. If it is created like 4 days back, then it will be successful, otherwise unsuccessful. You can add these 2 conditions as well. Okay, so you can change it to modified date. All the stuff you can make it, but that is enough with the file date. Okay, now let's go to service running. Okay, service is nothing but go to your Windows and say that press your window key and search for services here. In here you will have a list of services. So using service running, we can check whether a particular service is running or not. For example, let's take adaptive sleep service. Okay, here we can choose which service we want to check for. Let's check adaptive sleep service and press OK. Save, and save the bot and run. So let me edit it here. Service success. Save and run. Now it is running. The service is success because service is running now. In case if I stop it, for example, let me stop. So now the service is stopped. You can see it, there is no running status. So if you want, you can right click and check in the properties that the service status is stopped. Okay, if I run this, it will result in message box failure. And why this will be useful is sometimes you might need to run a particular service in case if it is not already running. So in such cases you can use this kind of conditions and you can run it. Now the service is stopped, that's why you got the failure message. Fine, now read it. And similarly you have a service not running option as well, and we have image recognition on object properties and Windows control. But here there are few. We'll see web control. Okay, click on web control. So let me see. So these things are a negative one, only the web control is missed, web control on file size. So what we left with: web control, file size, image recognition, object properties, Windows control. Let's go with the web control and click on edit. Okay, so open new URL. So select a page. So select a page has nothing but open URL. Let's open http www. Not google.com, let's go with bing.com. Okay, launch, we can see, and let's wait where it's opening. Good, it's opening in Internet Explorer. That's the dead thing. Okay, just you need to sorry, I was getting laugh because of the bird. Okay, what you have to do is you can change your default browser. Okay, somewhere I'm not sure, but you guys can change it if you want to change the thing. Okay, second okay, let me launch it first, and we will be seeing a particular button or something is present or not. Okay, we have pressed launch button. Okay, now IE is opened. Now capture, click on a capture button, capture. So what here we want to extract is, I want to extract this languages. Okay, let me click. Okay, now I clicked that particular thing, and then we have a control other HTML span, and the value is languages. Okay, you can go with the advanced view, and in case if you wanted to have, so here it says that caption languages and control index 7 attribute collection is nothing. So we will see much more detail about this one on browser automation. As of now, these things are enough. Okay, what we are trying to say is, like, first it should open a browser and it will check for whether the languages option is present or not. Okay, now save the window and save the bot and run it. It should open Internet Explorer and it will check for that languages text is present or not. Failure, that is good. Okay, let me see, let me launch this. Okay, so this is nothing but I previously we have closed it, right? Let's open it. Now when we press save, so let me recapture the same thing. I'm going to recapture. Okay, now I pressed save button and save the bot and run it. Not sure why it got failed. So it is failing again. So we will see these things when we are doing browser level automation, but as of now you can understand the remaining conditions, right? So let me talk about the other ones. So let me press cancel. Sometimes what happens is, like, even when you open, it will directly open the whatever you have selected. So in such cases you have to press cancel. For example, now here we were doing the browser automation, right? So when I double click or edit it, what happens is it will open the browser control itself, okay, instead of the base one. So in such cases you have to press cancel to get the base pop-up. Okay, so here there is another field, another method called file size. You can, this is nothing but just to check whether the file is less than some size or not. Okay, you have to provide the browser size, something like 1 file, and you can say like equal to 50 MB, less than 50 MB, something like that. You can do it. Okay, so the next one is image recognition. Here you might need to give me little attention. Okay, click on edit button after selecting image recognition. Here we are going to compare two images. Okay, so first we will have a base image, that's what image 1. Okay, and using image 2 we will be checking whether image 2 is present inside the image 1. Okay, so actually what we are trying to select whether image 2 is part of image 1. That's what we are seeing here, and that's what the image recognition option is for. Okay, the image you can take it as a screenshot or you can take it from the file. Normally how we run is the bigger image. Okay, so the larger image we will be capturing. Okay, so here we can capture it. For example, let me capture this particular screen, which is Movavi video suite new project. Okay, let's see for that particular application. Okay, here you can find it, Movavi video suite new project. Okay, so this is going to be a base image. I mean the total image, this total thing is going to be base image. Now we are trying to search second image. Okay, now I'm going to choose it from the file. Either you can choose it from a file. For example, here there is no image, so inside also there is no image, so we do not have the image. So first we have to capture our base image, I mean like the small image that we are trying to see. Okay, now let me capture this image. I have taken a print screen and I'm going to paint, don't save it, and save. So here I'm going to crop only to a small level image. Okay, so this is what image I want. Okay, now crop it, and I'm going to check whether this image is present in this particular image. This will also be captured as image, so it will check. Okay, so now, so let me save it as smaller image. Already we have something like that, so let's say that image 2, we'll see. Okay, we can name it anything, but one thing you need to remember is always this image comparison works with JPEG image only, not with PNG images. Okay, so save it, and now open your automation anywhere. Okay, search for browse, and here you can say that it's not a BMP image, it's a JPG image. So image 2 is our smaller image. Okay, so once you select itself, it will point out where the image is present. If you can see it in the red color, it has marked where the image is present. Now that is the right image means, then you can press OK. Okay, now we have the bigger image and we have a smaller image. So we are going to check whether the smaller image is present in the larger image. Okay, so there is another few options. We can match with the percentage, how much percentage this should match exactly. Okay, 95%, and how much tolerance we have to give. There will be like a little pixel differences, whether we want to accept it or not. Okay, we can accept it. And there is another option, repeat if the image is not found. So what it does is, first it will check if the image is matching, then it will end the check and it will result in true. In case if the smaller image is not present in the bigger image, what it does is it will check for another time after 300 milliseconds, okay, whether the image is present or not. So without immediately returning false, it will keep on checking for 10 times. So now you can uncheck it, or you can increase the number of times you want to check as well, because sometimes what happens is like the application may take a moment to load again or load completely. So in such cases this option will be better one. Okay, so there is one more option, if the image is found, click on it. Okay, we will see in the next round. Now as of now, save it, save the image and run. Now it brought this particular thing success, and service success it's saying, because it has become successful and we are getting success message. Okay, sorry, let me close. Okay, there is a small pop-up, we need to close it, otherwise, yeah, this one, let me close this pop-up. It was showing this service success, maybe like image success or something like that, but image success. Okay, fine. So now it will return image success, but let's not dig it again. Okay, so now this is where we are checking, right? Now I want to click on it, add media files. So let's see what happens if I click it. If I click it, it opens a open media files browse folder. Okay, now close it. So there was an option for it, that's why I was telling. So there was an option, so here you can see the option, if the image is found, click on it, so you can check it and save. But one thing now I want to modify is, I want to have only this particular add media files image here. Remaining things I do not want, because I want to click on it, select, crop and save. Okay, so we are receiving a sharing violation because we have given the image here, right? So let me edit it here. So I don't want this image for a moment's sake, and press save. So yeah, fine, it is asking again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this image, and again I'm going to open a new paint, and I'm going to match this image. I'm going to store this as image, add within media files. They can't stop me, man. I'll find one way or other way. Okay, let's save this one. Okay, now browse the image, and here we are looking only for that add media files. Okay, it is showing something. So this points like where this image is present in the bigger image. Yeah, this is where. Yeah, press OK, all fine. So now if I save it, it's saved. So what we are expecting is it should match whether this image is present or not, and if it is present, it should click on here. If it clicks, this pop-up will come. So we are looking for the pop-up, whether the pop-up comes or not. Okay, now save the bot and run. Now we got the pop-up. Success. Fine. Okay, so now cancel it and press OK for that small pop-up. It was there somewhere. Yeah, click on OK, because unless you click on OK, you will be hearing the sound like tong tong like that. Okay, now let's edit this one, and this time let's not go for image thing. Press cancel to get the base options. So now you got the base options. Now we are going to see Windows control. Windows control is nothing but whether a particular application is opened here or not. Okay, so we can refresh or just we can capture it. So this time we are going to see like whether a window control exists or not. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do, let me take Movo video suite, this file itself, that application itself. I'm going to capture a particular slide. Okay, whether this slide is present here or not. Okay, this time it says the location, width and all the check, and also it says like value unchecked and control type check button. Okay, now if I save this one, press save, and if I execute it, it will check whether this particular button is present or not. So this one is only purely for window based applications, not for web browser application and all. I mean like web based applications. So image success because it is present here. Okay, now I have not performed this activity. What happens if I try to move it? Let me add some media so that I can move it little away. Okay, now I have added little more media, and now I am moving it little far. Okay, let's again edit it. Okay, now let's keep it here. It is here, but I want to make sure that. So you have to click the capture and hold the mouse without leaving the button. Okay, now again refresh it. Let's see, like, yeah, select. Cannot find the window titled Movo video suite, new project. Okay, refresh and check. This is quite weird. Okay, now again we came back to the Windows control. Now you just try to edit. Okay, now let's go and select Movo video. Okay, fine, let's see. Let me save this one so that it will be easier for us. So something like ABC. I have saved it. Now it's no more new project, and try cancel and edit. Refresh here, and we should find Movo video suite. Here you can see that Movo video suite ABC. Okay, now click on capture and hold it for a moment and try to find the what you call that drag bar or the bar. Okay, now we found it. Now save, and if I save and run it, it will either it will give us a true if it is there, otherwise it's a false. Okay, this is what we have done it last time as well, but this time also image success because it is there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this bar to the end. Okay, and save it here. Also go in here and run the program again without changing anything. So it's running now. It says image success. So what happens is, in here it will try to find with the control type as well. Here you can see that control type is check button. It will try to see it with this check button. Okay, let's go to the last option, object properties, and click on the edit button. So here we can see whether a particular option holds good for the object properties. For example, this time let's take some other thing. So here we can check more video shoot 17 or any option you can check, but as of these applications are open, so I'm going to see them. Movovi, what do you call that, something it was there, yeah, video shoot. Okay, now I'm going to capture a particular place. Okay, in this one I can capture a particular section or particular text. Okay, so here I'm going to capture something, edit video. Okay, I hope you can see that red color box is blinking. Okay, now it has few properties. Okay, so whatever you see that binocular here, that is the search criteria. This search criteria should match if I run it. Okay, and in here you can edit few of the values, for example name, all the stuff. We'll see it in the next iteration. As of now, save, and the same pop-up is here. We can close it, it's not required. You can run it now. Okay, now you can, if you want to change the message box, you can change it to success, it's okay. Okay, run it. If you run this time, irrespective of the image, it will try to see only based on the property. Okay, so the properties are as defined in the pop-up. These are the properties, so these properties should match. Okay, now for example, in the action, sorry, by clicking here you can add a binocular, but I do not want to add there. I am changing something else for the action. Okay, so here I'm changing the value, but still I'm not making it as a search criteria. Okay, so only when I make it a binocular, this becomes a search criteria, that it will try to use this property while matching. Okay, as of now it does not use it. So let's check it. Save, and save the bot and run the bot. Okay, it is successful because the value is present, and also we are not using the edited value in the search criteria. Okay, but this time for this execution, let add the binocular and make it as a search criteria here. Okay, now it will see like the action, previously it was press, but this time we have changed it, right? So now this will be used for searching. So which means that this time it should fail because this property is not going to be present there. Okay, save the bot and run. It is taking 15 seconds to check, because if you have seen, notice that pop-up, it was telling that it will take 15 seconds max. Okay, within that, if it's able to find, then it is okay, otherwise it will fail. So now you can see that it's a failure. Okay, similarly you can change the how much time to wait for something. Okay, here it was, we were waiting for 15 seconds here, and if you want to change it, you can change it without any problem. Okay, because this option is given because sometimes for loading it may take time. Okay, so there are few editable and few not editable fields, so you can change the editable values and check whether that value is present or not. Okay, so let me cancel it. And now I hope you guys understood all the conditions here and here, and here few are negative, and I hope you understood the else if also. With few of them I have not used the else if, but I hope you understand the concept of else if, because it works exactly similar to if block only, but along with the else block. Okay, so that's all for this video, and I'll come up with some other video with Automation Anywhere in the next video. Thank you guys.